Hey y'all, I'm Delaney and I play the libero position in volleyball. I'm currently a senior in high school and I'm committed to play D1 volleyball at Fairfield University next year. A lot of y'all have seen my videos and asked for tips on how to become better liberos, so I thought I'd just make a quick guide to liberoing. This one's more for the newer liberos and I'll make another one on some more advanced skills later. The biggest thing coaches look for in liberos are communication and determination. As a libero, you should always be the loudest on the court, communicating with your teammate about who has what ball before, during, and after each play. The libero has four main jobs: serve receive, defense, covering your hitters, and out of system setting. Consistency in serve receive is important for any position in volleyball, but especially liberos, because you're always in serve receive and it's one of your primary jobs, and nothing else can happen if you can't pass first. When in serve receive, think about keeping your head level at all times when you're moving, right about at the height of the net, maybe a little bit below. And so when you're moving, you want to be moving laterally instead of ever up and down. That and keeping your feet shoulder width, or I guess a little bit more than shoulder width apart at all times will help you keep a strong platform and be able to make adjustments really fast. Before the ref blows the whistle for each play, make sure you talk to your teammates about who has what seam in serve receive, meaning who has the ball between two players on the court. Different coaches have different ways of determining who has the seam, so definitely talk to your coach in advance and see what they kind of want, and then communicate with your teammates before each and every play. Be like, I got that seam, you got my deep, I got your short, just so you don't collide or run into each other, or even worse, let the ball drop. When it comes to defense, just be scrappy and cover as much ground as you possibly can. As soon as you see the other setter release the ball to a hitter, transition fast to your defensive position to get stopped and ready to move. But don't transition too fast, because if the other setter decides to dump, that's also your responsibility. If your teammates are blocking at the net, stay right outside the blocker's hands where you can see the hitter and be ready for the hard-driven balls. Also, be ready for anything that bounces off your blocker's hands or any short roll shots or tips. Always be on your toes and with your weight forward so that you're ready to react fast and short. Also, whenever you're moving to a short ball, try to take quick steps instead of long lunge steps, and that'll help you get to the ball faster. Covering your hitters is also extremely important, especially against teams with big blocks. Oftentimes, you can recycle the ball and make another play as long as you're ready to cover. As soon as your setter releases to one of your hitters, follow that hitter and stay up close to the net. That is, one defender stays up close to the net while the other one stays deeper to cover anything that ricochets deep off the block. Once you're in your position, just get low and get ready. A lot of times I'll watch my hitter and kind of see what they're doing, whether they're taking a full swing or just kind of rolling, and then I'll watch the hands of the blocker, because my next job is to take anything that comes back off that block. And so as long as you're staying low and ready, you should be able to cover pretty easily. Out of system setting is when the setter takes the first ball and someone else has to step in and set. This is oftentimes the libero or just the left back. Most liberos will use their platform to set, but it's even better if you can learn to use your hands. The only thing about using your hands is that sometimes it's tricky as a libero, because you can't legally set with your hands in front of the 10-foot line and have an attacker that then jumps and attacks above the net. I'll cover more of the details of that in a later video because that can get kind of tricky. Out-of-system sets, though, don't have to be perfect. A lot of times, coaches want them about 5 feet off the net and 5 feet in the court so that the hitter has time to really adjust and get a good swing on the ball. Libero is probably one of the more mentally challenging positions, so you just have to get into the mindset that you can make any play you want. If you start telling yourself otherwise, then your body will start holding back and you won't be able to make that play then. That's why positive visualization is a really important thing for liberos. And so a lot of times I'll just be standing in serve receive and I'll take a second, close my eyes, and just envision making a perfect pass. And so that way it'll help me run through the mechanics in my head real fast, and it's also just really helpful for your mental game. Another thing I like to do is whenever I make a mistake, I like to have a physical reminder just to move on to the next play. And so a lot of times I'll either just clap or a little snap, and that kind of is like a reset for my brain, and it tells me to move on to the next play. Lastly, you should be your teammate's biggest cheerleader, both on the court and on the sideline. Like I said, libero should always be the loudest. It's often said the liberos can help set the mood for the team, so just understand that you have the responsibility and ability to help motivate your team and keep the momentum on your side. Libero is probably one of the most underrated positions in volleyball, and so it comes with a lot more responsibilities than other people may think. And so I really hope this was helpful, and I'm going to make another video soon on some more advanced libero tips and tricks.